Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. Tonight, you will be joining Rotting Ricky and Asylum Amy as they play host to some of the true movers and shakers in the indie horror scene. So lock your doors, check under the bed, and get comfortable, because here we go.
And I'm Sylvia Saska, and we're the Saska Sisters, and this is Indie Horror Junkie! Indie Horror Junkie! Indie Horror Junkie!
Good evening, Junkies. Episode number 92 of the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. You guys, how's it going? Rotting Ricky D.
It's going well. And you, Asylum Amy?
Doing good. Can't complain. I like your Film Fest shirt. So you rock that out. We're going to get into that in a minute with some indie horror news. We have a great guest tonight, Katelynn Newberry. She's been on our show before. We're bringing her back. She was in issue number 16 of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine as our indie horror hottie.
And
why? Because she is a busy bee doing the damn thing in the indie horror scene. We're so proud of her and excited to just tell you guys more about her and everything that she's got going on. Some great films. A lot of the film that she's in, we've either had them on the podcast or had them in the magazine. So there's a lot to get into tonight. But first, indie horror junkie news, and lots of it. Speaking of your Film Fest shirt, we do have the festivals that are coming up starting in September. First off, we have ScareCon Film Festival, sponsored and presented by Indie Horror Junkie. Submissions are open. We are in the final stretch. You have until July to get these in. We kind of are in the late submission fee process, but keep an eye out because I am going to be posting on our socials, both ScareCon and Indie Horror Junkie, some little flash sales between now and the end of the month. So if you have an indie horror short and indie horror feature, make sure that you're submitting and that you're getting your tickets to ScareCon in Syracuse, New York. Rick and I will be there, along with a few other junkies, just running that festival. We have some great guests. How's it going, Joe? Our guests at ScareCon so far, we've had a few announcements. We have Alyssa Rose, of course, Dave Sheridan, Danny Roebuck, love that guy, Kane Hodder, Phil Falcone, Jesse Posey, Tyler Posey, Eugene Clark, Jonathan Stark. We got lots of Fright Night people. Stephen Joffreys.
So excited for Fright Night.
Amanda Pierce. So excited to meet her. And we also have William Ragsdale. And I think there's one more. We've got, one. So definitely some great guests. Check out their website and their socials. They're going to be announcing a lot more between now and September, so keep an eye on that. And we also want to talk about the Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival, which takes place at MegaCon. Next year, it's going to be in March, and our film festival submission process is open for that. That, I believe, we're still like in the early bird phase. So if you've got a short film, feature film, go ahead and get it in. And of course, keep an eye on our socials as well. We're always trying to do like flash sales just to give you guys an opportunity if you're running a little late to submit. But our submissions for that are, I believe, running through January. So you've still got some time, but definitely get them in by the prices are low on that. What else we got going on? We have
tarot cards.
Here we go, tarot cards. For the clock, our distributors for that is Bayview Entertainment. We love tarot cards. They're a big supporter of Indie Horror Junkie, as well as they have this really cool digital app that you can collect and trade these cards. They support all the indie horror that's relevant and out right now. So definitely shout out to tarot cards and Bayview Entertainment. we have a couple magazine announcements. Of course, right now, which is available online for purchase in both digital and print, is the June issue of the magazine featuring Paul Wiley on the cover. And that is available at indiehorrorjunkie.com. So go ahead and get a copy of that. And we're also just releasing, what day is it? Today's the 2nd. Was it yesterday? The July issue. We're super excited about this. Hull House LLC lineage. I'm a huge Hull House fan. So I'm really excited to see the 5th and final installment. It's going to be more of a narrative film. And I just love this. This is the kind of horror that really scares the crap out of me. So I know, like, I'm in for it. I've already gone back and started watching the first couple of films. I'm ready for number 5. So super proud of Stephen Cognetti, the writer director of that. Very excited for the cast and crew. That is being distributed by Terror Films, and it's available in theaters on August the 20th. So head over to their socials. It's even on our socials, and go ahead and get your tickets. We want to support them. It is indie horror, so more butts in the seat means more weekends that they get for their theatrical release. So if you want to support indie horror, that's one of the best things that you can do. Let's see what else we got.
Let's see. I don't think so. We got a couple people saying hello real quick here. Hello, Mary.
What's going on, Mary?
Joe and Bryn.
Bryn, hey. I need to send Bryn some shirts. Yes. And we want to talk about Reels of the Dead real quick?
Sure.
You have our flyer for that. Reels of the Dead is our horror anthology created by the sick minds you see right here on your screen. Rick and I have been... that's okay. We've been kind of working at this anthology that we're super excited to share with you guys. We're shooting it here in November. It's going to be released in 2026. It incorporates a wraparound anthology, which is a story on its own. You don't want to miss out on that because it is twisted and sick, just like we are. And we're really, really excited about. Inside of that, you're going to find 4. What are we doing? On the inside.
3 shorts, you mean? Yes.
3. Yes, 3 is going to be on the inside. So there's also going to be a connection with our film festival. There's going to be a lucky short film that gets to be part of the anthology moving forward. We basically breathe life into short films that are already, circulating, and we want to give them another way to be seen and to be distributed. So they're going to have 2 films that are in the anthology plus an indie horror short. So we're going to be busy at the end of the year filming those, and we'll tell you more about that when there's more details to come, because there's a lot to talk about, but just not quite yet. Yep. I want to bring Katelynn out. Let's go ahead and talk about her film, one of her films, Devour. We've had some of the filmmakers from Devour on our podcast before. We've had them in the magazine, but tonight Katelynn's going to tell you about the role that she played along with her other films. So let's go ahead and show the trailer, and then we'll bring Katelynn on the show.
Sounds good. Here we go.
Behold, the fall, the collapse of Babylon, fall of the Tower of Man. When the stars careen from the heavens, and the dead walk the earth. Now that looks like a great family film to me.
It is a lovely family film.
Well, welcome back to the show, Katelynn. If you guys missed her before, she was on the show a few months back with the filmmakers from The House Among the Trees, which that film is currently making its rounds on the scene for film festivals. So we're really excited and want to congratulate both you on that, plus Wes, Blair, and Tyler from Eye for Eye Productions. So shout out to them. We love that film. Rick and I had the pleasure of watching that already, but let's get into Devour, because That was a hell of a trailer. Without giving too much away, for anyone who missed the Devour podcast, just kind of give our viewers a little bit of a synopsis without, any spoilers.
Devour is about an all-girl metal band, and we happen to be vampires. And we're touring, and we end up in this town that is run by a cult and a warlock, and all hell breaks loose.
And you play one of...
I'm one of the vampires, yeah.
You play one of the vampires, who also is the drummer, correct?
Yes.
And have you ever drummed before?
No.
Uh-huh.
So tell us about that process.
I took some
wanted to ask you
lessons.
about that.
Huh?
I wanted to ask you about that. I was like, I know Katelyn's a badass, but is she a drummer too?
No, my brothers are actually both musicians. My brothers are actually in a metal band together, but I am not a musician. I sing, but I took a couple drum lessons prior to shooting just so I had an idea of what I was doing. But I mean, so much of the performance shot is it's like slow motion, and then Heidi from the Butcher Babies is the front man for our band, so they
had a little bit of movie magic in there to make it all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It would be fun to play a drummer. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So
remind me again when you guys shot this film and where.
We started shooting in 2023, I believe, October 2023, and September or October of 2023. And when I got cast, they were like, "We're going to need you for 8 days." And I was like, "Okay, great, 8 day shoot." I was on set probably 35 days in total. We wrapped December of 2024, I believe, or January of this year. I can't remember. It was one of the two. It was cold. The last time I shot with them was cold.
And just splitting things up. How was that process?
It wasn't even weekends. It was they were doing entire blocks of time. Like the first block, it was 2 weeks, and then we came back right before Christmas, I believe, because Heidi had to go on tour. So Heidi was over in Europe, and we hadn't finished her stuff, so she came back for another 2 weeks, I believe. And then it was just smaller chunks. And as Scott was editing it, he would think of some things that would be neat, especially with the werewolf. I don't think that we anticipated the werewolf being as cool as it was.
That werewolf was sick.
So it ended up in a lot more of the movie than it was originally scripted, but I mean, it's a really cool werewolf.
I mean, I can see how just everything going on that consisted within the production, like it needing that extra time,
Yeah.
And that's kind of a, like a blessing really that he had the time and that the cast was able to commit over that span of time to look at the dailies and start editing and go back and say, you know what, like we missed this, let's add that. I mean, that's definitely a way to do it. That's what's great about indies. You can do whatever you want. You're not on anybody's timeline.
Scott also owns a studio in Atlanta. We shot it in Georgia. Scott owns a studio out here, so most of it is shot. They built the sets inside of the studio, which was a huge saving grace for us. They built an entire cave system.
Controlled environment.
Yeah. So we had all of these different sets, but there's not enough space in the studio for all of the sets, so we would wrap one and then they would have to tear it down and build a new one and stuff like that. So it was crazy.
I love that. Such a cool process. And have you ever played a vampire before? I'm assuming that you wanted to play a vampire at some point, because who doesn't?
Yeah, I've played a vampire. I get cast as a vampire frequently.
Hear that, Rick? Because Rick has a vampire story he was trying to throw at me. I was like, I can't look at it right now. Don't show it to me. I don't want to see it. Show it to me later. But yeah, Rick's got some vampire in his blood, and apparently so do I. So we'll see where that goes. Maybe we'll be vampire again. But no, it just looks like such a fun film. And like I was telling you, you've got some great music in it. When I went to the last Not Enough Space concert, they're a band here out of Central Florida, a metalcore band that contributed one of their songs, Primitive, to your soundtrack.
Yeah.
I hadn't put the two and two together, and we were just talking, and they're like, oh yeah, we have our film, this movie coming out called Devour. I'm like, we just had them on the podcast. They're such a small world. But they're a great band, so I'm really excited for them to get some exposure through your movie. And likewise, because they have a great following, so they're going to be a great source of marketing for the film as well. But you have a lot of other stuff going on. You've got a ton of movies outside of Devour. A few of them are Deathwoods, Replicator, Alien Horde. Let's get into some of those. I know Deathwoods isn't out yet, but
No, Deathwoods isn't. It's in post. I think it's almost done.
I'm seeing a lot of that online though through marketing, so they're doing a great job marketing with that. When was that filmed?
We shot that last year, I believe. Last summer we shot it in Tennessee.
Okay, very cool. And
July, I think. I can't. It was hot.
I don't know that we've covered that. I know that we've had some articles, not articles, some ads in the magazine about that. But what is the premise for that film?
Deathwoods is about a group of campers that wander into the Deathwoods, and what you can imagine what to expect in the Deathwoods. But the special effects were incredible. The cast was a lot of fun to work with. It's a really, really talented cast. It leans into comedy, which I think is going to make it a lot of fun, but it's definitely like it's like Grindhouse style.
Okay.
Which is a lot of fun. Yeah.
And how did you get into this whole indie horror world? Because I see you everywhere. I keep up with indie horror world. So does Rick. I mean, it's who we are. It's what we love. It's what we represent. So my algorithm is just all indie horror once I'm on socials. And that's how I find, a lot of you guys out there, because we're all so interconnected, and I think that there's so much happening in the indie horror community right now. It's been happening. It just continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I agree.
But how did you get involved in indie horror? And were you acting before you got into these independent films? Because I know that you've been on you were in juror number 2. I watched that.
Yeah.
And then after I met you, I was like, that looks like that girl. And I went back and watched it. I was like, oh shit, that's Katelynn. Let's go Katelynn, So you're clearly a great actress. So where did it start, and kind of where is it going, and how did you land in indie horror? And tell us, your love and passion for that.
It was an accident.
Some of the best things happen that way.
Completely. It was a complete accident. I'm not gonna lie. I actually didn't set out to be an actor. I wanted to be a musician. I thought that that's what I was going to do. I thought I was going to be a vocalist. And I was living in Ohio. Well, I'm from Buffalo. And so I was traveling back and forth between Buffalo and Ohio for a while, working with a band called Mushroom Head. I was working with the lead singer and the bass player, and they were helping me produce an EP. And a bunch of the other members did some instrumental stuff on the EP. But then the lead singer, Jeff, lead singer at the time, he is no longer, I believe he retired. But the lead singer, Jeff, at the time, he was working on this movie in Michigan where he was like a pinhead type character. I have no idea what this movie's called. I don't know if it ever got released. But he was like, you should try acting, because I feel like that's just what they tell pretty girls. They're just like, you're pretty, you should be in a movie. And you're just like, okay, whatever. But then I tried it and I liked it, and I liked it way more than I liked being in the studio. Because you make, and I props to anybody that makes music, because I find the process really tedious, because you're just sitting in the same place all day. Whereas as on a movie set, there's all of these people, and there's just so much energy, and it's the ultimate group project. So I tried acting and I really, really liked it. So I started training. And then Ohio has a huge indie horror scene, which is where Meat was shot, actually. It was directed actually by one of my best friends. We met on the first movie that I think I ever made. And so I just kept making movies, and I kept training, and I kept going to casting calls, and I have really just hustled really hard.
Yes.
There is no secret. I have just hustled really hard.
I believe
mean,
it, because that's what it takes to get
yeah.
the level of where you're at, and you have all these films, and you're, getting more of a presence in the community. And yeah, like it's not just, oh, I got lucky because I'm cute. Like
No.
that's why we have, and Rick knows that, like, I'm so passionate about this. That's why we have the indie horror hottie. And Rick is the one who started that, by the way. Rick's over here this way. Rick
Yeah.
started the indie horror hottie section. And we both were on the same page as soon as we really got into publishing this magazine, that was dedicated to the women in horror who were hustling, who were putting in.
It's a hustle.
Pretty, we're not taking your, like, this is not modeling. This is work. This is a craft. This is art. This is what your filmmakers and actresses and, like, whatever it is that you do as an artist in the indie horror world. Like, we're not just putting you up there because you look good. Like, we're putting you up there because you deserve it, and we want to promote you. And that's why we had you in the magazine. But yeah, I believe it. That's why you're here now, is because you put the work in. It takes a lot to go to class. It's money, it's time. You have to be passionate about it because you're being pushed. It's uncomfortable, and then the audition process in itself, and just submitting, and that whole thing, it's not glamorous at all. And nobody but you and those
being on set is not glamorous.
Yeah, like, you got to really want it, and clearly you want it because you're doing a lot. So
no, I love doing it. I mean, it's my favorite. Like, even a bad day on set, even if it's like kind of miserable or it's hot or like the conditions just suck in general, like, I'm still just happy to be there. I've been in some of the coldest conditions. I've been in conditions that it's so hot that I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I'm just like, my outfit is just wet. Like, but I, even going through what I've gone through as a performer, I still love being on set so much, and I love being able to tell stories. And I just love the level of collaboration involved with filmmaking. I don't feel like you can find that in a lot of other places.
It definitely takes a certain type.
Yeah, no, it for sure does.
Definitely takes a certain type. Well, tell us about Juror Number 2. It's not horror, but that was a great spot that you had. Played this little bartender on there. How was that process for you?
I mean, it was really surreal. I mean, working with Clint Eastwood was really surreal. Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, watch it. It's number one, it's a great story.
It is a great story. I mean, I was opposite Toni Collette, who I'm a huge fan of, and then on set with Clint Eastwood, and then he never directed me. He would just look at me and he would be like, "That's really nice," and I'm like, "Okay."
Nice.
That's interesting.
That's really nice, and I'm like, "Okay." But he does direct people, because I had seen him do it to other people, but he would just, like, I don't know. It was like he was enamored with me. It was really adorable. And then I finished. And they were like, "Mr. Eastwood wants to speak to you." And I was like, "Okay." And he took my hand and he was like, "Thank you for being in my movie." And I was like,
how cool is that?
I would do this for free. I would show up for free for this. Are you kidding? He's cool.
Amazing. Very cool.
Everybody was super cool. Nicholas Hoult was incredible. He was amazing to speak to. Very, very humble, very down to earth. He's one of those, like, there's Holding, obviously. I like to be on set. I like to see what's happening. And he's another one of those actors that I found he likes to be on set and, like, out of the way, just like watch what is happening. And I can appreciate that. I don't want to sit down somewhere. I want to be in the shit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very
That's
cool.
Awesome.
Let's also talk a little bit about Replicator. We had them in the magazine. That looks like another just crazy, wild indie horror film with a lot going on. Again, we had them on the podcast. We had a great spread, so you guys definitely go back and check that episode out. But what was your role in that film? And tell us a little bit of that experience on set.
Those guys, the Cranked Up guys, are incredible to work with. I love them. I love Phil. I love the director, Mark. Scott is incredible. That crew, I was physically in a very, very uncomfortable position in that movie, written in as the character. And they made it so comfortable for me, and I felt so taken care of. and so seen as not just a performer but as a human being. It was a really great experience. But I'm the antagonist in that movie.
All right.
And I do some weird stuff.
All right. That's another one I'm really excited to see. I actually
You should
met
watch it.
Phil
It's fun.
when I ran into you at Days of the Dead, and he's a lot of fun. And hey, Lance. And he's a great guy. Rick and I have, talked to him, before and had him on the show. And that's great that you had an awesome experience working with him. But that's another one that it just looks like a wild, really well thought out, produced film that's going to get a lot of attention on it.
Yeah, it's wild.
And when is that supposed to come out? I'm not.
That one is out. It's on Prime.
That's right.
It's on Cranked Up. I think those are the only two places it's streaming. I can't be 100% sure though.
And Cranked Up, by the way, let's plug that for Phil. That is a streaming platform, and I believe it's only $4.99 a month or something.
Yeah,
really insanely affordable.
All horror.
Check it out. It's got some great films on it, and you definitely want to see that.
We had them on the podcast.
I need to put that on my watch list on top of all the Film Fest movies.
That's one heck of a list.
What are you doing tonight, Amy? Watching Film Fest movies with us? It's fun, and I do enjoy it. We've had some really cool ones. It's been wild this year as far as that goes. And I know you mentioned Meat, that you said you filmed in Ohio, so let's kind of dabble into that.
Meat just premiered in Ohio. It premiered for Pride Month. They sold out the theater.
I don't know anybody.
Butts in all of the seats. But one of my very best friends is the director, and then two of my best friends are one's the lead actor, and then one directed it. Then he also has a cameo, and it's a LGBTQ plus slasher. The killer is hit. They call him the stud.
The outfit. I was going to go back to that. Can we talk about that outfit?
That's the stud.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Now, is it meant to be like very, very sharp as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's I haven't seen the whole film. It's getting rave reviews right now. He's going to start doing a festival run with it within the next couple of months. I'm really excited. The trailer is beautiful. But from what I understand, like the kills are incredible. And I know like he came to me back in 2020 about doing this movie, and 2023 we shot it. And it was all crowdfunded and self-funded. And then he had a couple private backers, but all shot in Cleveland. And
yeah,
I'm pretty excited about that one.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember this, Rick.
Oh boy.
But when I was at New Jersey Horror Con, I ran into somebody, and I feel bad. It was this really nice younger guy, and he had asked me, "Have you guys covered Meat?" And I'm like,
"Oh shit,
I think so." And I messaged you, Rick. I'm like, "Have we covered Meat?" Because that doesn't ring a bell to me.
Oh, you should.
If somebody says something like I'm gonna remember it because Rick and I do the magazine, and I would just remember at least the name of it, even if it was a few issues back. And he's like, "No, we haven't done that before." And I don't think I got his contact information. So we'll have to get with you to get their contact information.
Yeah.
So we can put them
absolutely.
the magazine and the podcast. And I feel so bad. Actually, the guy that was there, that was mentioning Meat was with Eileen Dietz when I was getting that picture for you, Rick. He was at the table. I think he was her handler for the day. I don't know if he works for New Jersey Horror Con or what he does, but he mentioned that film.
That's funny. Yeah, it has had a bunch of people have been talking about it for, I don't know, 2 years now. People have been really excited about it. But yeah, Roger Connors is the one that directed it. Cody Steele leads in it, and then I play his best friend. So yeah, it's a good film. We had a lot of fun shooting it.
Very cool. And I know that you mentioned, here's Lance. It sounds interesting. A festival run, MegaCon. Yeah, we got to get these in to the film festivals. Have to send you guys some discount codes. Get you down to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with MegaCon, but MegaCon is huge down here. It's ridiculous. Like 250,000 people. It's a huge multicultural convention, and that's where we run the Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival out of. And last year it was just nuts and blew up. That's where we streamed Screenboat before they hit theaters. But we have the Film Fest movies plus additional movies that we just bring, like the cast and crew will come out and, set up a table and promote their film and do Q&As. We try to make it a whole event. So that would be, Lance is right. Lance is one of our judges for the Film Fest, and we love working with him. And he even is on the podcast sometimes. So thanks for tuning in, Lance. Good to see you. And
Make
you
sure you tell the Devour people if it's done in time.
The Devour people, Devour needs to. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we're dying to see that. And there was another film you mentioned in the pre-show, and along with Meat. Which one was that you have?
Did I finish it already? Is it a movie that's done being shot?
I don't know. It was one that I know that you wanted to mention.
I just finished a thriller called Ascendant.
That was it.
Ascendant is about a girl that gets involved with a cult. Richard Brake plays the cult leader.
Ooh.
So I spent the past month, I actually just wrapped like a week ago. Nice. I just got home. Yeah, we shot it out in North Carolina. They built the set, they built a compound. It was sick.
Wow.
It was really, really eerie. It was very disorienting to be on that compound. And that's just have like the weird shit just happening. But Richard Brake was lovely to work with. He's a pro, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And as far as that goes, are there any horror aspects to it or just straight thriller? I mean, thrillers are intense. Don't get me wrong. I
feel like it's going to depend on how it's cut.
I got you. Okay.
There are some. It's not gory, and I am not often involved with movies where I'm not covered in blood. So I don't even know what did they do with my hands when I'm not covered in blood. And that one is not. I was not covered in blood in that one, so it's not a gory film. But it definitely has some. There is a lot of suspense in it, and Richard is scary.
Ooh, all right.
I like it.
And what kind of role do you play in there?
Me or
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was just playing myself. I was a girl that got myself involved with a cult, but it wasn't because of why you would think I was getting involved with it.
All right. Got some twists in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll keep our eyes out for that as well. Rick, and you've got some pictures that we have to show tonight. Let's get into that.
Okay. Let us know what's going on. Is this like a headshot or is this from a movie?
Yeah, that's my headshot.
I had to ask.
That came from my Wiki Feet page. I'm kidding.
That is
what page?
Hilarious.
Okie doke. We'll just skip
that. Is a great picture, though. I know that you sent this in.
No, it's a great picture. It's from a friend of mine shot that. Actually, it was while I was shooting Meat. I went and I shot that with him in between the days that I had to be on set. I loved it. It's what?
Flashdance and Footloose.
That's the first thing I thought about was Flashdance. Yeah,
it's a beautiful picture. I love it.
And then we have this one that you were very happy with.
Yeah, this one is inspired by the movie Drive, which is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that is a great movie. We had this one in the magazine, I believe. This was one of the photos.
Yep, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and she is in issue number 16, you guys. So definitely head to the website, get yourself a digital and print copy of issue number 16 of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine. And tell us about these other photos in here. The one to the right with the horns, is that from Devour?
No, that was a friend of mine. I actually think that he's done artwork for you, and I talked about a band earlier, Dark Divine. I actually believe he's done some of the artwork for them. If you've seen like metal covers, metal artwork, usually he makes it. His name is Aaron Marsh. And yeah, I became friends with him. He was one of my first friends when I moved to Georgia, actually. And we, every now and then, we're like, let's do something creative. So I kind of came up with this this idea of being a demon, and then he came up with some concept art, and then we got another friend of mine, Tyler Kincaid, involved to do some fun little special effects, and then he digitally enhanced it to be this crazy image.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Now, your friend that you mentioned, was he just on tour with Dark Divine, like running their merch booth? Because I met somebody.
No, I mean, he doesn't tour with a lot of musicians. He works Teddy Swims. If you're familiar with Teddy Swims. Mm-hmm. He's not metal. He's like, I don't know.
There was somebody that I met that like was there and who is an artist, and who actually I asked him, like, was he going to be at a convention that I was going to be at, and he was going to be there with his artwork. So I wasn't sure if that was the same girl. We have Nicole Butler Vegas. Katelynn is an amazing human being. I love her wit, charm, and fun reels she shares on her IG. Nicole, we totally agree. Yeah, you have a fun IG. If you guys haven't checked out Katelynn on Instagram yet, she is always throwing it out there. Like, you crack me up. You just are who you are. I love your personality. You have such a humor about you. What was that? Did I just hear WikiFeet? Yes, you did. Go look it up.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Listen, I can't help but to make fun of that all the time. I can't. I don't know. It's one of the funniest discoveries I think I've ever made about myself.
No, but your Instagram content, you guys check it out. Like, you're funny. I think that you have this kind of really just like, you're such an attractive female, and then your Instagram page, you know what I'm talking about, your Instagram post, like, you don't give a you know what, you say some of the funniest stuff, and I'm like, this is why I love this girl. She doesn't care, but you just have a great comedic side to you. Please don't ever change that.
Thank
you guys can have a good laugh and a good look, go over to Katelyn's page. You might see some feet too. I don't know.
Nicole and I actually, Nicole, who came on here just a second ago, Nicole was actually an Alien Horde with me.
Yeah, I know she was in that. Yeah.
Yeah. We shot that out in LA. It was fun.
And that was recently, right?
We shot it last October, I believe.
Okay.
We were on the Firefly set, which I don't know if the show Firefly, have you ever seen?
Yes.
Firefly and Serenity?
Oh,
well, they have a set out there.
Really?
We used it. It was really cool. I was fangirling a little bit for that. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was a big fan of Firefly and Serenity.
Me too. Me too. It's before its time.
Yes. We spoke about Juror too.
Yes, she totally did. She killed it. With Clint Eastwood. I mean, come on. Like, it's so dreamy. Get out of here.
There's an actual, there's something on, you got to look it up on YouTube, but there's a clip from an interview show that Tom Hanks was being interviewed, and they asked him what it was like being directed by Clint Eastwood. And he makes a whole big thing talking about how important it is for directors to yell out action and this and that and really make a big production of it. And he said, but when I worked with Clint, it's like Clint would just kind of look at you and goes, okay, go ahead.
On your time. That's what he'd say.
Yeah. Well, he said the reason he did it like that and real soft-spoken was because Clint Eastwood worked on a lot of Westerns. And back in the day, they said that when they used to yell action, it used to make the horses jump around. So he just got used to saying, just take it again or whatever. So laid back, but he's an amazing guy. One of my idols.
Yeah, it was like top 5 experiences that I've had in this lifetime, I think.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not going to lie.
So cool. I love that. We got here Devolution giving rockstar emojis and black hearts. So what's going on? Devolution.
I gotta say something also too. When you were telling the story about how you got into acting and how that you were in the music industry and you were a singer and stuff, all that kept popping in my head is like, was she a drummer? Because then you'd be like full circle, and Devour.
No, she wasn't. She had to train.
No, I don't know how to play the drums in real life.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. Still, it's gonna look.
No, I sing. I am working on music now, but not like I was back when I was 21 or no, that was another lifetime ago.
Are we gonna be hearing anything?
Yeah. I think the plan is to create a full EP and then release it slowly but consistently enough to see if there's traction and then go from there.
Okay. And like what kind of like vocalist are you? What genre?
Like goth pop.
Yeah.
like music that's like hot but like a little bit stabby,
Yep. Okay.
like I feel like I have to be covered in blood, but that's just like an aesthetic, I think.
I also feel like that so many filmmakers that you really need to make a dope music video.
Yeah,
and
that's what
just
everybody
pull
keeps
in
saying.
all the favors, pull them in.
Well, just for being on the set of Devour, did you get to chat with Heidi a little bit about that?
Heidi and I have chatted about a ton of stuff. I love Heidi. She is one of my favorite people on this planet. I was actually supposed to go to Vegas to go to her birthday, but I was booked for something else. I was in a latex outfit on a rooftop somewhere, not in a weird way.
Covered in blood.
Like in a totally normal kind of way.
Day for Katelynn, you guys.
Yeah, it was totally fine. But I was supposed to go out there for her birthday, but my schedule didn't align with hers. But we're trying to plan like a friends thing.
Because I've been talking to Amy about her and Butcher Babies and stuff like that for the longest time. So hearing you being with her and Devour's Land, I'm like, my God, everything connects.
I swear they recently came and played at the Orpheum in Tampa. Like
they were on tour with Attila for a while.
I think they played.
So they probably did, yeah.
And I mentioned it to you, Rick, and I wanted to go, and I think it was on a weekend that, like, I don't know, I don't remember what it was, but I remember them coming, and I wanted to go, and we missed it.
She's so good live. If you can see her live, she's so incredible.
Ugh. Yeah, Orpheum is a really nice venue out here in Tampa that a lot of like some of the bigger bands come and play at. Dang, we missed it, Rick.
She'll be back.
One question I have for you. Have you done, obviously since you've done so many films, especially in indie horror, have you done the festival circuit at all? Have you ever gone and done the conventions, nothing like that?
No.
Meeting the fans?
I should maybe eventually at some point maybe do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have enough people at where I am in my career. I don't know if I have enough people interested in the stuff that I'm making as of right now that it makes sense for me to do it yet. But I would like to think that the longer I do this, that it will perhaps come to a point where it will make sense for me to go out.
Yeah,
but I don't know yet. I don't know.
And doing some networking, like if you have a film that like you did at Days of the Dead, you were there, you were representing your film, and the guys had a table there, a filmmaker's table, like even just getting involved in that way, like if you can go and represent the film and network, it's crazy the people that you'll meet, and you get to know these convention owners and things like that. But and
the fans
I have talked to Scott about going. I'm trying to make it to as many of the festivals that they have Devour in.
Yes.
I'm definitely trying to make it to as many as possible for that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just the networking. You can't put a price tag on that. And the more that you're out there, the more people that you meet. I always say I met Rick at a film festival.
That's true. Yeah.
You just never know. So many of our contacts, between the two of us or individually, or like a lot of them are just film festivals and networking and getting out there. Like you'd be surprised, even if you just got to go, and you're promoting your film, don't take advantage of the opportunity just to talk to everybody that you can meet,
I also spend a lot of time on set. So I feel like, oftentimes when they roll around, I'm like the premiere for Meat, I was on set somewhere else for that. I couldn't even make it to that.
Oh,
yeah. And it was sold out.
I mean, not a bad problem to have though.
No. But there, I do, it would be nice to, I don't know, experience some of the things that I've made.
Well, it'll happen when Devour plays over at MegaCon for the Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest.
Rick is manifesting it.
I'm manifesting it right now, and I can see you right now sitting at that table being approached by your WikiFeet fan club. That's going to be amazing.
Katelynn gets her own booth, feet and all. I'm making you a banner.
Make it happen.
Oh my gosh. So you're in horror. You love horror.
Yes.
What are some, and you don't have to name like your most favorite, but what are some fun horror films that over the years you do love to watch and rewatch, and some that have stuck out to you and inspired you, whether it was the story or the actors in it. What are some of your kind of just favorite go-to comfy cozy horror movies?
Well, my favorite horror movie, well, I guess I'm not going to consider it a horror movie, but I guess somebody else might if they don't watch horror. But my favorite movie is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I also like to go. I love to dress up like Frankenfurter sometimes just for funsies.
I acted in one of the crews or whatever it is.
Yeah.
In high school, that was our thing. Every Friday, Saturday night, we would go to the University Square Mall and we would act Rocky Horror in front of the screen. That was how we started that weekend.
I believe I just saw ScareCon announce that they have that show is going to be at ScareCon. I don't know if it's a local
that's awesome
that are performing, but they're going to be having that show at ScareCon. So now I have to come to ScareCon.
I just saw it on Friday, I think, at the theater here. They do it with the shadow cast as well. I love it. I think it's so funny. I've been watching that movie since I was 7, which is what is wrong with me.
What's right with you?
What's right with me?
And here's another little thing manifesting about MegaCon. Mary would love to meet you at MegaCon, Katelynn. There we go.
There you go.
It's happening. I'm putting out the vibes.
Yeah, it's probably not very far from me. It's probably only a couple hours.
Yeah, you're in Georgia.
Oh, yeah, probably a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Nope.
So, and it's like right in the heart of Orlando. You're 10, 15 minutes from Universal. Like everything's right there. Food, nightlife, parks. If you're a partner like me, even like I was telling you, the shows, they have great, shows, a great music scene in Orlando. It's a good time. Rick and I will be getting our booties kicked running that thing.
You always do. So
We're actually extending it and doing an extra day this time. We're doing 4 days, which is exciting because we get to have more. We get to show more films, which is great for the filmmakers, and it gives the opportunity to have more of the filmmakers come out. We had a huge group of filmmakers come from all over the country and fly in for MegaCon to see their film, and that was the coolest thing for us because we watch every single film. So somebody comes up and introduces himself. It's like, yeah, we know who you are. You came all the way here. But MegaCon is so big and grand that even if you come and you're a part of the film festival, you have it's 4 or 5 days that MegaCon runs, and you literally have to be there all 5 days to see all of MegaCon. That's how big it is, like 250,000 people. And they have the most insane guests. Like, who did they have last year? They had Mel Gibson and Sharon.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Yeah, like Gina Davis. I was starstruck at Gina Davis. I don't get starstruck.
All the Back to the Future people.
When I saw
Jesus.
I stared way longer than I should.
Just on your website.
But
it's okay. That happens to the best of us.
But I did get to meet her. I'm like, I have to get her autograph. She has to sign Beetlejuice, and I'm a huge A League of Their Own fan. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great networking. So outside of Rocky Horror Picture Show, what's another fun one that you love?
Big fan of Ginger Snaps.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love Ginger Snaps so much. I love that werewolf. I mean, newer movies. I love Insidious and The Conjuring. Those are fun. Insidious. When the first time I watched Insidious, I had to sleep with the lights on.
Yeah.
I was so scared.
I like those films as well. I really do.
Yes.
But I feel like I got into horror because of books. Actually, I was an Anne Rice girly growing up.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Lestat.
You wanted to be Lestat.
Yeah.
Wow.
My gateway book was
I wanted to be Lestat. Yeah, I did.
Have you seen the series? Because the movie with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt wasn't bad. I enjoyed it, but
it's fine. The books are always going to be superior. I haven't seen the series. I know they shoot it in New Orleans.
Highly recommended. You watch the series, you will go nuts. I promise you.
Yeah, I do love Lestat.
There you go.
Alrighty then.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So, okay. So are there anything that we're missing as far as films? Because you literally live on set. What have we gone over everything? I want to make sure that we plug you. That, we just have eyes on you and what you're doing. You guys definitely check out her socials. We're not going to sleep on that. But do you have anything that is coming up that you're working on? That
Bloodletting. We'll shoot that in Canada. It's a frontier horror. Wayne Anderson, who created the werewolf and the minotaur for Devour, is creating the creature. I don't even know what I don't know what that creature is called. You'd have to look at it, and if there's some mythology, I don't know. It's really cool. But Digital Thunderdome is involved, and Flying Bonsai, both of whom are producing Devour. They're involved with it, so it should be fun. We have some cool actors attached, and I'm pretty excited to go make
and
it.
when does that start filming?
We're supposed to start in August, depending on scheduling and all of the stuff that goes into, how. I think there's an entire set that has to be built. I don't know.
Have you been to Canada before?
I grew up in Buffalo.
Okay.
So
I've never been.
Hop, skipping, a jump.
It's
Actually, I've got my passport.
Buffalo is basically just Canada, but we've got Tim Hortons there and snow.
What kind of role are you playing in that film? Can we talk about it yet? Or
there's only one female role in the entire film, and I'm going to be a ghost.
Oh, that means you're not going to be covered in blood then.
I'm not going to be covered in blood. Maybe I can ask them.
Yeah, just to make you
I
feel at home.
would like to request that I get blood cannon on most of the sets that I'm on. It would make me feel like I'm at home.
Yeah, you got to throw a bucket of blood on
how
there.
you
Please walk on set, throw blood on me. I'll feel better.
Right, bucket of blood, and just make sure we show her feet. We're good.
Oh my gosh. You're not going to live down this thing. I'm not going to let you. I'm just going to randomly send you a foot emoji.
I did a movie once, and there was a shot of my feet, and I was like, this is going to end up on my wiki feet. Guess where it is?
There you go.
It's on my wiki feet.
Okay, how did this come about? I got to know. We're talking about
I don't know. It's just a thing. People take screenshots of my feet and they upload it to wiki feet, and then they rate it.
I mean, you gotta like make some supplemental income off of this. Like
I make $0.
Huh?
I make $0 off of
We have
it.
to find a way to.
I should capitalize.
You should. They're your feet, your digits.
Yeah, it was just
Okay,
a thing
so
that one day I found, and I was like, "This is odd," but okay,
It's
live your life.
very funny. It seems
Everybody
like you
needs a
play
hobby.
a lot of really different roles. Is there that one dream role or one dream character that that you're like, I have to play that before I die? Is there just that one thing?
Morgan from Devour was definitely close to that character because I'm a big fan of Underworld. Celine from Underworld. I love that character so much. If I could play a character like that, that would be really sick. Morgan was pretty close to that from Devour, but there was a lot more comedy involved, obviously, than Celine's character from Underworld. But I mean, I love vampires so much. I want to be Lestat.
There you go. All right, Rick's mind is spinning. I can see.
Oh, yeah, my mind is spinning between this
vampire script I wanted to
and
send you. That you
Wikipedia.
said, don't send me one more script. It's in your inbox right now. I need you to read it so we can talk about it tomorrow.
There was actually, I'm sorry, but this is a little off the beaten path here, but thinking about the whole vampires and the wiki feed thing and all that stuff like that, there was actually a box art that I saw for a vampire movie that was a whole clan of midget vampires. Have you seen that? Yeah, the movie's called Ankle Biters.
Did you find this at one of your garage sales?
No, I haven't got the movie, but I've seen the box art and I want to see it, but it's called Ankle Biters. And I think that sounds just the title alone and what it's about. I got to see it now with the whole wiki feed thing. There could be a trend here. I'm just saying.
That sounds crazy. I want to see it too.
There you go. Look it up.
And that's
You
our
heard it
show,
here,
you
people.
guys. Ankle biters. Is there anything else that you want to share with our guests tonight? Anything that you have coming up? Any appearances that you're doing? It sounds like you're just too busy to do.
Summer's super busy with me for filming. I film a lot during the summer. So I will be shooting. So yeah.
And have you been lucky enough to work a lot in Atlanta? Because you're in Georgia and Atlanta is like the new Hollywood as far as it goes for filmmaking. I mean, you have Tyler Perry Studios there, which is the biggest in the world. What is the scene like as an actress there?
I travel a lot. But I think that that's how I'm able to sustain a career is by traveling so much.
Yeah.
I'm not held in one spot. I can just go places. I have been working on a movie in Ohio called The Pumpkin Lady, which is it's being directed by David Greathouse, who did the special effects for Replicator. Actually, he's a special effects artist getting into the directing world, and he created all of these crazy pumpkins. It's like a Goosebumps horror, like led by two teenagers. I play a mom who listens to metal. It's sick.
Mm-hmm.
But that shot
of Rick and ours is doing a younger kind of intro to horror film because
that's what it is. There's no blood, which is cool. Ascendant was shot in North Carolina. I've got the one in Canada. So I have something that I'm shooting this month in Atlanta. I don't remember what it's called. I don't know what it's about. I haven't. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a full script. I don't remember what it's called right now. I don't know. I just got the offer letter today, so I don't, but I'm only on a couple of days. Thank you. So I shoot some stuff in Atlanta, but I travel all the time for it. I'm traveling a lot for this.
Yeah, that's great. You got to be kind of just always have a bag packed and ready to go. Cause you said, you book this and they could say, hey, like it's shooting next week and you just have to go.
Yep. Pretty much.
So, but no, I asked that because I have a lot of friends who moved to Georgia, just because of they have so many productions there and they want so many local hires that a lot of people even from LA move to Georgia. But I'm like you, I go where the work goes. I'm not uprooting my family and like moving away from my family.
No, you can't.
They need me, you get on a plane, you go. You got to be gone for 2 weeks, then be gone for 2 weeks and come back. I've done that too. I've had to live on sets and you do what you got to do if you want to do it. And if you're serious about it, you go.
I think Atlanta's a good home base.
Yes.
It's nice here. I like it here for the most part. The traffic blows, but so it does in LA too. So, and New York. So, but yeah, I think it's a good home base here. And there is quite a bit of work. It seems to be picking up because it was very slow for a while. So
there's a lot going on in the Southeast.
Yeah, there is a lot going on in the Southeast, that's for sure.
You said Digital Thunderdome is there in Georgia too, right?
Yep, they've got a studio here.
Yeah,
he's got a couple different spots here.
Big production studios in the Southeast. 50 Cent actually he is in Shreveport now you guys have to look into that with Shreveport. I just know that because I have agents that are in Shreveport, and so they're always talking about it. But 50 Cent is building a huge studio in Shreveport. So
nice.
Southeast is hot, y'all. Don't sleep on it. And
I like it here.
Yeah, there's just a ton of talent. And
there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of really talented people. It's really neat. It's neat to be around so many talented, driven people. It's really cool. It's inspiring, really.
We feel that way in the Central Florida community. Rick and I, there's so many great filmmakers and actors and, even like VFX and SFX, like, all your post-production, there's just whatever you need. There's a pool of people here, but we have no film incentive. So people are we're doing the independent thing here. But if a studio film comes to Florida, they bring their crew, they bring their cast.
Yeah.
Rick and I just worked in was it Dark Waters?
You mean Great White Waters?
Great White Water, sorry. It changed the name a couple of times, which is an asylum movie, which a lot of people know, like the asylum, they did like the Sharknado films and stuff, but they came down here and filmed, and Rick was a huge part of putting their whole team together of crew because, luckily they did need some local crew. They didn't want to fly all them down, but as far as their lead actors, they flew everyone in for the leads. Like they might cast a few small roles that are from the local scene, but in Florida, if it's a big production, they just bring everybody with them. It's like, come on, like you have so much talent here. Give the locals a shot, and but anyways, what do I know? Well, let's go ahead and plug your socials. Where can everybody find you and your feet?
You see? You see?
Well, I
All right.
don't
I'm
know
not
the
letting it go.
URL to my wiki feed. I don't have that on the top of my head. But if you
Not
Google
letting
my
it go.
name and wiki feed, it will pop up. I've got like a 3.5 or 3.7. I'm trying to get it to a 5, please.
So she's actively working the feed. I got you.
Shame on the person that gave me a 1. I'll find you someday.
There you go.
And my Instagram, which is where I'm mostly active and mostly posting my bullshit, is Katelynn E. Newberry on Instagram.
There you go. Check her out, you guys. Her feet and her bullshit. She's a lot of fun. She's hot on the scene. She's working hard, and she has some great films coming out. And we're gonna keep
Thank
up
you.
with all of it. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're gonna kick you back to the green room so we can give you a proper indie tour junkie goodbye. But we just are so happy to have you back on the show, and we'll have to
I'm
bring
happy
you
to
back
be here.
whenever you got more to talk about, which I'm sure will be sometime soon. You're so busy.
Thank you.
Congrats on everything, Katelynn. Seriously, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
we'll talk to you in just a minute, okay? Just
Okay.
hold on just for a minute. Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut her off, but yes.
Another
So
great
happy we
show,
had her.
you
This is
guys.
the second time we've had her on now, and like I said, she's
She's a lot of fun, and she's crazy
just so down
talented,
to earth and real, you know?
and I'm really proud of everything that she's doing. She's got some great films that she's in, and that says a lot about her work ethic. And those are the people, you know, that we want to promote in this industry. So thank you, and we're just excited to have her back on. So definitely check her out on socials. Check out Replicator. Katelynn said that is out on streaming right now. So that's another great film. But if you like what you saw and you want to support the Junkies, make sure that you head over to our YouTube page, follow, subscribe. We're on episode number 92. So if you missed any, definitely backtrack and start from episode number 1, where yours truly is the first guest, which seems like a lifetime ago. But here we are headed into next week. We are plowing towards 100 episodes, which we have a very special pre-recorded 100 episode that we'll tell you about later, because we're going to be really busy that week. We're going to be going to ScareCon, but that's going to be a fun show. But thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you junkies next Wednesday. Good night.
See ya.